On July 13th, 2006, at 1:08 p.m., I received a phone call that my son Bobby was in a terrible car accident, and he was being trauma hawked at Delray Medical. I called my wife Diane, and I told her to meet me at the hospital. I met my family there, where we went to a private room, and we prayed, and we prayed, and we prayed. About 3 hours later, 2 nurses came in, and their heads were down, and I said to them, "He didn't make it, did he?" And they looked up, and they said no. And at that very moment, it was like time stood still, and our lives were changed forever. One of the most important people in my life was taken from me in a blink of an eye. So after several months of some of the most challenging and difficult times for myself and my family, Diane and I found the strength to go to a bereavement group, and we met other parents who had lost children. It was there that I heard a story from a man whose 8-year-old daughter was thrown from a horse, not wearing a helmet, and was in a coma for 31 days. And they had to make the most difficult decision any parent would have to make. They had to discontinue life support. And rightfully so, he was angry that he got cheated and his daughter got cheated, only 8 years old. Some very good friends of ours lost their beautiful and loving son to a 3-year battle of cancer. And at 2 a.m. in the morning, he died in his father's arms at their home. We met a mom that lost both her children at the ages of 8 and 10 at the brutal hands of their father. And in one shocking moment, she lost both her kids in a terrible and horrific way. And at that very instant, she was left all alone. Diane and I also met another couple whom we become very good friends with that lost their 17-year-old daughter in a motorcycle accident, only 17 years old. You see, I feel so blessed to have had Bobby for 21 years. And unlike that little 8-year-old girl, he was able to experience his first kiss, his first date, drive his first car, go to his prom, have his first drink, and for that, I'm thankful. And unlike our good friends that lost their son to a brutal fight of cancer, Bobby never suffered. And at the end of the day, regardless of how it happened, the fact is, they're gone. And that sucks. Each parent is left with one thing in common: a broken heart and shattered dreams. So you see, I do understand that each person may have their own cross to bear. And grief comes in all shapes and sizes. And there's no doubt in my mind that every person in this room has experienced grief. Some a little and some a lot. And like Darcy Sims always says, grief is neither a sign of weakness nor a lack of faith. It's the price we pay for love. Our theme this year is based on an Alan Peterson song, One More Yesterday. And after 21 years with Bobby, if I had one wish, just one, it would not be for money or a fancy car. My wish would be to have one more yesterday with my son. That would be my wish. And if I had one more yesterday, what would I do? I think I would take him to a hockey game because that was his favorite sport. But then I would have to share him with others. If I had one more yesterday with my son, I know what I would do. I would take him to a movie premiere, but then we couldn't talk. I know what it is. Bobby loved poker. He loved poker. I would take him to Las Vegas and let him gamble all night long. But then I couldn't have him all to myself. So if I had one more yesterday, here's what I would do. We would stay at home. I would make pizza like we did every Saturday night, drink beer and wine, and have the whole family together, laugh, talk, and enjoy each other's conversations. That's what I would do with my one more yesterday. I would spend it with Bobby and our family and friends. And I would relish every single second. And then I would look him in the eyes and I would tell him, I love you, Bobby. I miss you. I miss you more than words could ever describe. And then I would hug him and I would hold him. And I really do wish I had one more yesterday. I'm sure I'm not alone. There's many others in this room that wish they had one more yesterday with their loved one or their child. Shortly after Bobby's accident, I went into one of my stores, store 678, right down the street in Coral Springs. And there was a pharmacy technician by the name of Candace. She was going to the University of Miami to be a doctor, and today she is. And I knew one of her strong subjects was math. And I asked Candace, would you do me a favor? And she said, Mr. Resciniti, anything. And I said, Candace, based on the Bible, 1,000 years on earth is a day in heaven. 1,000 years on earth is like a day in heaven. So I asked Candace, based on that theory, if I were to die in 20 years, how long would I be without my son? And how long would my son be in heaven? She got out a pad of paper, a pen, and a calculator, and she started pounding the keys and writing things down. And she did that for about 15 minutes. Candace looked up to me and said, based on the Bible, Bobby will have been in heaven for 27 seconds. 27 seconds. Here I am, 20 years with this hole in my heart and this emptiness. And when I'm reunited with my son, he's going to say to me, hey, Dad, what's up? With a big old smile. 27 seconds. So here's how I see it. The next time we see our angels, they're going to be exactly how we remember them. And not only for that, it's going to feel to them like we were gone for seconds or maybe minutes. Now, many of you have been in this room since year one, and you've watched our dream become a reality. You've seen us present portraits and pendants to bereaved parents, and you've watched us as we grow and support Bobby's college, where he wanted to be a sheriff with scholarships. And then in 2010, you watched us open the doors of Bobby's Place that helps the bereaved parents and siblings. Our foundation grief counselor, Marcia Levine Arias, is one of the top grief experts in Broward County and heads up all the different group sessions at Bobby's Place. And she's here with us tonight. Marcia, would you please stand and be recognized? Where are you at, Marcia? There you are. Thank you, Marcia. And she's here with her 2 kids. You see, we realize that grief is grief and a broken heart is a broken heart, regardless of the loss. And just like the Angel Walk, Bobby's Place will soon be opening its doors to anyone that lost a loved one, not just children. Last year, we showed you a video clip of Bobby's Place, describing the brokenhearted and healing that takes place. But now, I want to open the door and show you a more detailed look of Bobby's Place. Please watch the screens. So I covered the past and up to today. Well, what's next? What about healing hearts of tomorrow? Ladies and gentlemen, our vision is to have 15 or 20 acres of property. And if you would, please join me and visualize Bobby's Place of tomorrow. We are going to have a chapel and a meeting hall with several different rooms, including a meditation room, a study with a small library, and a prayer room, just to name a few. And on the outside, there will be plenty of gardens, secluded gazebos, and nature trails all around. There will be a common area, a barbecue, a picnic area, a playground, and even an outside amphitheater. It is the vision of Healing Hearts Foundation to have a place where people can go and get help in an open, safe, calming, and healing environment. Because to me, the best way to heal is to be outside, out in the environment, with the trees and the flowers, the statues and waterfalls, and all the wonders of nature. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Bobby's Place of tomorrow. Thank you. So I would like to remind you that all your generous donations, all your contributions, not only help support the foundation and allows us to honor all the fallen angels, but it also helps us get closer to fulfilling our vision $1 at a time. And our vision, Bobby's Place of Tomorrow, will be a retreat, a safe haven for all the bereaved, to have a healing place to think about their one more yesterday. The brokenhearted must always know they are not alone as long as Healing Hearts is around. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.